call this meeting to order at 9:05 in the morning. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Please bear with me. It's my first real running of a meeting as chair. I unfortunately missed the last one, which would have been a nice dry run with a little less controversial material to deal with. But we'll start things off. Mr. Brader, was this meeting properly noticed under the Open Meetings Act?
Yes, Chair Don, it was.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I guess a little housekeeping before we get going on this. I'll probably put the gavel down. We're going to start off with public comment on these issues, and there have been white cards for the public to speak. We're going to take them. I'm going to try in some semblance of order of the issues, but please forgive if we're bouncing around a little bit. There are folks in the overflow room as well who would like to speak. Going to try and have it be people in this room speak, and then bring the people in overflow in to speak. Each member of the public will have 60 seconds, 1 minute, to state their case. We'll be keeping track of the time. We'll obviously let you finish up your point as that minute ends, but when that minute is up, we do ask that you please wrap it up and move along. We've got a lengthy agenda and a lot of people who would like to speak. And I think it's also, I think I'd be remiss if I didn't address the obvious controversy or controversial nature of the issue here. This is the reproductive freedom issue, abortion, what have you, is obviously a hot button issue, probably the hot button issue in this country, has been for 50 years now. The beauty of our country, in my mind, and the system we have, is that it's set up so that people with incredibly different points of view can state their case, feel as if they had their say, and coexist in peace. And so in that frame, I'd like everybody to keep that in mind as we're here today, as you are making your case. We're not here to talk about the issue of abortion. We're here to determine the validity of signatures in the form of the petitions as they have been submitted. Obviously, you have a right to state your case, but please do keep that in mind. We're not here to talk about the issue of abortion, whether it's right or wrong, and ask that you respect people who are speaking who have a different point of view than you. No booing, no hissing, no displays, no outbursts, things of that. We want to keep this civil and move these things along. So with that in mind, I'll move along on public comment here and call up the first person in the stack. I guess also, I'll reiterate this probably multiple times. When you come up to speak, please state your name and spell it for our court reporter so that she can have the transcript correct. We'll do a very quick swearing in and take it from there. So first one up is Jimmy Sam Woodard. You get to go first, no pressure. Come right up to the front here. And I believe there's the microphones. I would say probably sit and the microphone might pick you up better, and then make sure that the little red light is on so that you are being picked up on the audio. There's a little tiny button next to the microphone that should light it up.
Oh yeah, sounds good, or looks good anyway. My name is Jimmy Samwoodard.
And real quickly, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I certainly do, so help me God.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Yes. I first wanted to address the 22-2 proposal regarding the absentee voting provisions. The issues I had with it was the the fourth bullet that said provide voter right to single applications to vote absentee in all elections. I think now many of the clerks are letting us do that 1 year at a time or one election at a time. We get new applications for absentee ballots. But if we allow this thing to be endless, there's a lot of opportunity for those that move out of the state and for those who are deceased to continue to get absentee ballots at their previous address, which leaves a lot of opportunity for fraud. The next item on that particular proposal, 22.2, is the very last bullet, which requires canvass boards certify election results based only on the official records of votes cast. We've seen the lack of validity of that in the past election, in which we counted ballots and then we required recounting ballots, which means nothing. We have to see those envelopes that the ballots came in, to see addresses, to be able to affirm that they actually came from the individual person. And also, we did a...
If you can wrap it up.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, I didn't hear the bell. I didn't know it was that long-winded.
It goes
Okay.
quickly.
And then the other thing was that we had a canvass in Macomb County and found that 40% of the folks that said, that's just in our little area, 40% of the folks that said that they didn't send in absentee ballots, but we had absentee ballots for them.
Okay.
What does that mean? That means bad. So,
Thank you, sir.
do I get an opportunity to speak on the other abortion issue?
You did put on here those two items.
Yes,
so
I did.
I will give you 1 minute to speak on that issue, but
appreciate
please
that.
do keep
I'll
it to 1 minute.
Yes, sir. First of all, the idea of reproductive rights has nothing to do with this amendment. Let me just say this: the 100-word addition or deletion or the change is absolutely abominable. That we would pass out a petition, get the names based on what was put on the top of the petition, and then it would be changed by somebody else, 100 words worth, for us to vote on. That sounds illegal. It does not seem right. It was not what we signed to have happen. So therefore, I ask that you do not approve of that particular proposal, Proposal 3. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your advice about hurrying up, too. I appreciate that.
No, I'll get good at it by the end of this meeting.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes.
I also kind of just want to remind, I believe we do have some people who have, I know I'm going to use the wrong word, provisions to be able to speak through the ADA that it may be streaming. I just want to.
Yes. No, thank you for the reminder. Yes.
And
why don't we go ahead, and if there are folks that are on, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Nope,
We
please do.
that maybe we're having some problems with the Zoom right now and trying to get it back and figure out what's going on. So if we could go with give us some time to work on it. Thank you.
Give me the heads up when it's ready. We'll make it happen.
just wanted to make sure that we are all available to take our public comment.
Thank you, Jeanette. Up next, have Matthew Shepard. And Matthew would like to speak about both of the proposals. So I'll give you 1 minute for each of those. Why don't we just set your timer at 2 minutes, and you figure out how you want to divide that time up. Mr. Shepard, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And please state and spell your name for the court reporter.
Matthew Shepard, MattheWshepard.
Thank you.
I'm with the U.S. Taxpayer Party of Michigan. We vehemently oppose any kind of abortion initiative to be decided by the people that have been misled through this petition drive. And I would agree with your last comment, Speaker, on the other issue of the voting. People were not given the proper information to sign this petition either. In regards to the abortion issue, the blood will be on the folks to decide this to be on the ballot of the innocent that is killed. If we continue to do so, then this country will continue to be condemned by God's word and his will. Many countries throughout our history, world history, I should say, have lived under condemnation from God. And we don't need to be in that kind of position any longer. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Up next, Jeanette Wareham, I believe is how that is pronounced.
It's Wareham.
Wareham, okay. Jeanette, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and you also would like to speak about both of the proposals. We'll set your timer at 2 minutes. Please state and spell your name.
Jeanette, Jeanette, Wareham, Wareham. And thank you for letting me speak today. I would just like to voice my my personal opinion about both proposals and the language. My understanding first on the freedom for healthcare, reproductive freedom. The language on that ballot proposal is very unclear. There are 43 errors, per my understanding, on that proposal. And the wording, a lot of it doesn't make sense. It's very unclear. And I don't believe in its current form it should be included on the ballot. Also, there is language on the voting rights proposal that doesn't clearly state all the facts, specifically around prisoners being able to vote, which I don't think anyone should have that right when they violated our laws and are in prison. So thank you very much for giving me the time to voice my opinion.
You bet. Thank you for coming. All right, next we have Larry Hutchinson. Larry, are you in here? Yes. Okay. Larry, we'll do the same drill. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, please state and spell your name.
Larry Hutchinson, Larry Hutchinson.
Take it away, Larry.
Okay. Honorable Board, Mr. Chairman, I rise and extend to myself as much time as I may consume to extend and revise my remarks. I'm Larry Hutchinson, Green Party nominee for Secretary of State. I support any measure that will make voting easier, including making Election Day a holiday. What happened on January 6th disgusted me and motivated me to run for office. I support any effort that would stop voter suppression. A clear message needs to be sent to any person or persons that tries to disrupt the residents of Michigan from their right to vote. And that is my spiel for the voting part of this issue. As it relates to abortion, morally, I think it's wrong. Thou shalt not kill. Unlike the Republican nominee for governor, Ms. Tudor, I do believe there should be exceptions. An unexpected birth is not one. Jesus was an unexpected birth. If you do the time, you do the crime. A woman's right to choose should begin at her right to choose to use contraceptives. And while my party may be a little perturbed at me, I do believe in a woman's right to choose. I believe in the law. Whatever the law is, I believe we should follow it. Thank you, Board. I yield back the balance of my time. Free Brittany Griner, free Larry Hoover. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. All right, up next, we have, yes.
May I interrupt? We have not been able to get the Zoom link working, but we do have Mr. Gallant on the phone.
Okay.
So he can say, do you mind if we take him,
That-
kind of out of order and take him now?
Yep, that would be fantastic. Is Mr. Gallant, can you hear us? No?
All right, Mr. Gallant, you're up.
Mr. Gallant, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, if you could please state your name and spell it for the court reporter.
It's James Gallant, Gallant.
And Mr. Gallant, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do. And I have been provided a waiver to address every agenda item, and I believe it was 3 minutes that Mr. Brader determined. And please reconsider all the actions at the last meeting, because they had a majority of Democrats at the last meeting that voted that in direct contradiction to the Constitution. You're not supposed to have a majority of one party on the canvassing boards, any of them. And any version of language for the ballot language that includes the phrase reproductive freedom for all would appear untrue and biased, creating a prejudice in favor of the proposal. It was conceived and sold as enshrining abortion rights in Michigan in response to overturning Roe v. Wade. Now, ask Mr. Lydell on the record if these new rights for reproductive freedom will extend to him personally so he can become a birthing individual. These people are going to be able to, these corporations are individual too. So corporations could farm human beings so they could be aborted for that they could then get and sell that genetic material and that those stem cells for future, whatever they want to do with it. It's all about profit and enterprise, isn't it? And it's about Planned Parenthood's vision of the future. And this should not happen. This was sold to the people of the state of Michigan as something other than the rights for everybody involved. That's every man and every woman would end up with the exact same legal rights to either have an abortion or have their child born. And you can't, that's untenable. You cannot do that. I did send an email about this, and Mr. Don, please follow the rules and make every legitimate effort to block this anti-human effort. And I'm supposed to get an accommodation for every agenda item. So please do that and identify the rules, because Mr. Brader made very clear it was 3 minutes at the discretion of the chair for more time, not for less. You just changed the rules of procedure and you suppress the vote of the voters sitting on this board. These are electorates, right? They're these canvassing board members. You denied them the right to vote to change the rules about how much time today. And this is what's wrong in Michigan and in America in the election integrity fraud arena. And I expect time on every issue, man, Mr. Adon, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gallant. Jonathan or Adam, anything to address on the issue of the time, or are we good to continue moving on there?
No, I'll just clarify that 3 minutes is typically what we use, but the chair has discretion to modify that in either direction to allow everyone to comment and for the board to do its business.
Thank you. All right. Up next will be Patrice Johnson. Patrice. Don't see anybody moving. It doesn't say overflow. So if you are overflow, just hang tight and we'll get to you. Gary Donker. There's Gary. Gary, good morning. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, please state and spell your name and then take it away.
My name is Gary Donker, G-A-R-Y-D-O-N-K-E-R. And I just wanted to address the proposal 22-2. And I disagree with this, and that the voter ID or signed statement, it shouldn't be or, it should be both of them. I believe you should be voting not absentee ballot every year. That should be a necessity, not something that's just a given. There should be in-person voting. And a lot of these things have different situations that could cause the voting to be inaccurate. I just want to end that with Deuteronomy 5:7 and 5:19 in the Bible. You shall not steal. For anybody that would think about doing that anywhere in this country and anywhere in the world. For proposal 22-3, Deuteronomy, on this, I agree with the other people that said that it was not written the right way. And I want to end with that, with Deuteronomy in the Bible, 5:17, you shall not murder. Everybody has to stand before God someday. We all have an account to give for everything we do, even every careless word we say. And I would hope and pray that you'd all consider that before you make these decisions. May God bless each and every one of you. May God bless Michigan. May God bless the United States of America.
Thank you, sir. I do, oh, were you going to say something else, or?
No, am I
Oh,
done?
yeah, no, go ahead, yeah. Patrice? Good morning.
Good morning.
You probably know the drill. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
So help me God, yes.
Please state and spell your name for the reporter.
It's Patrice Johnson, Patrice, Johnson, Johnsson.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I'm with Pure Integrity Michigan Elections, and we identified 2 legal insufficiencies in Promote the Vote. The petition to amend Michigan's Constitution, which justifies being rejected by the board. As a former teacher, writer, journalist, and corporate executive, it fails on all counts. It receives an F for being ambiguous. It receives an F for poor research. It buries the lead in journalistic terms and obfuscates the truth. And as a corporate executive, I would say that it fails in its fiduciary responsibility to reveal the truth. First, under vague provisions about the fundamental right to vote, the petition text unconstitutionally authorizes state courts to replace the state legislature's election code with a judicially created election code. And the lawyers, Eric Cardall, and clearly stated that with precedent, and that the argument is being delivered to the U.S. Supreme Court is currently reviewing the case, applying the independent state legislature doctrine to North Carolina's adjudicating election laws. Similarly, the proposed Michigan Constitution Amendment invites Michigan state courts to replace state legislative regulations with the state court's own regulations based on vague state constitutional provisions. The invitation to the state courts to enforce the fundamental right to vote is too broad, it's too vague to pass constitutional muster under the state legislature doctrine. Second, the petition providing a citizen's court inaction is legally insufficient for the proposed constitutional amendment.
You could wrap it up, Patrice. That was the timer there.
All right, thank you. Is the intention of the Michigan petition to waive sovereign immunity, create a private use action to sue election officials, or to eliminate the defense of lack of standing? We simply can't know from the hopelessly ambiguous text. And the signers of this petition could not have known what they were signing because it's hopelessly ambiguous and cannot be remedied. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrice. All right. Donna Brandenburg. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well.
Awesome.
You,
He's back.
boy, you look familiar.
Yeah, how's that working for us all?
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Always.
Okay, and please spell your name.
Donna Brandenburg, DONNA, BRANDENBURG.
All right, go ahead. Please feel free to address.
All right, so I think the biggest problem I have here is the amount of confusion and everything, not only from our Board of Elections and this board and everything, where we can lose signatures, we can absolutely confuse entire processes and have absolutely no control of anything whatsoever. None of us in the private sector could ever have a process that's this poorly run and get away with this nonsense. Now, I read the gibberish in the confusion in the reproductive freedom for all, which is not at all. The titles are even misleading. And I really would like to say right now that anyone that would vote for this is a fool And the reason being is because they can't even write individual sentences or words. This is like a gibberish. There's 43 errors in this whole thing. And for this to stand as a constitutional amendment in Michigan, every single person involved in this should be ashamed of themselves. It's non-professional, it's absurd, and to get this through any process makes anyone involved in it look like an absolute moron. There's no possible way that this would stand just on the amateur attempt in anywhere else and have us on the books for the state of Michigan. Shame on everyone. So I don't even know why we're discussing this. And let's go back to this too. Let's call it what it is. This, our United States is involved in human trafficking kids, and selling fetal parts and babies. We had discussions on what do you do after a live birth happens, and when do you kill that baby after the baby's born, and how many parts are being sold. This is about selling human body parts. The Red Cross right now, 20% of the blood is only going to help. The rest of it's being sold to Big Pharma. So don't think anybody out here is stupid enough to believe what's actually going on behind the scenes, because we're not. And the other thing with the vote proposal, this is once again going into making up policies on the fly, having no control over our elections, and to further this communist Marxist takeover of the United States of America with no process and confusion. And it goes right back to taking God out of this nation. You take God out of the nation.
Are you wrapping it up?
Yeah, we're getting there.
Okay.
So
No,
I would like to have all of them done. I could talk for longer because I'm going to be back again, but that's all right. So, all right, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Some of these are labeled overflow, but they appear to be on the issue of the elections, so I'm going to try and bring them in. So if you're in overflow, please, and have submitted a card, kind of start making your way to the door here. The first one is Sandra Carolan. So perhaps we'll give Sandra a moment to get to the door here. And then next on that will be Holly Grandy. So Holly, you're in here, or if you want to start making your way here. Sandra?
Yep.
All right. Good double time there. Thank you.
Yep, for an old lady.
All right. Sandra.
Sandra Carolan, Sandra Carolan from Novi, Michigan.
All right. And do you
I swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. All liars will have their part in the lake of fire.
You want this?
Not yet. Normally, this body speaks without audience, which is our fault as citizens who have allowed it to continue this long. Things have been happening in both of the conventions in both parties, and hopefully there'll be a shaking up on both sides of extreme ignorance as citizens that are supposed to be voting on things, as legislators who are supposed to be making laws, and as judicial people who are supposed to be deciding things according to the laws. The promote the vote issue has been a problem. I know personally people who have received ballots for people who have moved years ago. I know that there's a lot of tongue wagging about whether there was or whether there wasn't fraud in the election in 2020. We're here today in 2022 because I want to make sure that there isn't irregularities like occurred enshrined in the law by the promote the vote. I saw people that looked to be conservative people foolishly signing this without reading it, and were led astray by, of course I want to promote the vote, of course I want to make it possible for our military ballots to get in. And so I think that the legislature needs to, and the board here, needs to be careful in the way that they form the sentences, that things are clear so that people are not having to figure out, wait a minute, you have to vote no if you want yes, or you have to vote yes if you want no. So I would encourage you as our leaders of this state to please listen to the people who are speaking today on both sides. And I would encourage the people on the opposite side of me, obviously, to not shush me and tell me not to say anything, and then go ahead and talk in front of me. So I would encourage everybody who's here to be polite and gracious to the other side. These are firmly held beliefs, and I want everybody's to be able to be heard.
Oh, good timing, too. You're pretty good. Holly Grandy, and then behind that we have Linda Appling. So, Linda, if you want to start making your way. Good
Good morning. My name is Holly, Holly Grandy.
Holly, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you
I
God?
do. Thank you very much
Right.
for this time.
Take it away.
I am very concerned with, as a member of the public, reading petitions and then having those petitions rewritten, and where we choose to sign those petitions, we expect to see the same language in the voting booth. We do not expect to have leaders of certain parties rewriting what that language looks like. I feel if I sign a petition, my signature should be an endorsement of that petition. I also believe that when I go to the voting booth, I should see the same language. When you are approached to sign petitions, you have people who are very skilled in convincing you on the merits of that petition. And you are, I read every word, and I don't want those words changed. I don't want them changed to aggressively encourage others to vote for a certain party's position. I also want to make sure that we understand that if a different party was in rewriting this language for different purposes, such as like expanding open carry laws, maybe expanding the exploration of our environment for energy resources, and then rewriting that after petition is put out, I think we might have a different perspective. I think you should protect my signature. You should protect the fact that that's my legal tender when I'm signing a petition. And words matter. And in fact, there's a reason I choose not to sign petitions. And that matters to me, especially when it comes to the purpose of these petitions. I'm pro-life. I also want to let you know that we remember these changes. We remember who was in charge when these changes are made, and we will take decisions when we look at the voting booth for those changes. Thank you. I take your job very seriously, and I really want you to protect my signature or my decision not to sign. Thank you.
Thank you, Holly. Linda Appling. And after Linda, I have James Johnson. Linda, I like your shirt. Go green.
Of course, always.
Linda, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
And all right, state and spell your name, and then we'll give you your minute to...
My name is Linda Appling, and that's spelled Linda, A, P as in Paul, another P as in Paul, Ling.
All right, take it away, Linda.
Okay. I'd like to say that I was one of thousands collecting signatures. I saw how much people were interested in protecting their voting rights. This is especially true in minority communities where fewer sites to vote are available, and many parents and others are required to work during voting hours. During these days, when many states and organizations are seeking to roll back voting rights, it becomes imperative that we protect those rights here in Michigan. Promote the Vote has submitted more than 664,000 signatures. This greatly exceeds the required number of signatures. The Canvas Board should approve our petition. I would also like to state my father, my grandfather, my husband fought for the right to vote. Don't throw their efforts away.
Thank you, Linda. Mr. Johnson. And after Mr. Johnson, we'll have Dawn Udell, I believe it is. Mr. Johnson, thank you, sir. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, and again, state, spell your name.
James Johnson, James Johnsson.
Probably the easiest one we'll have today, I would imagine.
Okay, I'm with Michigan Fair Elections, and we support the rejection of the Promote the Vote petition on constitutional reasons. Both, it's unconstitutional based on the Michigan Constitution, based on the argument that Mr. Dorsett has submitted in writing to you folks, and as well as the written argument that Eric Cadal has submitted that it's unconstitutional as far as the U.S. Constitution. Let alone it should be rejected on the deceptive nature of the 100-word summary. I know it's not relevant here to talk about the ominous nature of the petition and that it would make fair elections in Michigan almost impossible. The burden of the duty you folks have, I know, is heavy when you're carrying out this duty. My 8-month-old twin grandbabies recently moved to Michigan from Colorado, and it got me thinking about a question that I hope they never ask me. Grandpa, what did you do when we lost our country? If they do ask this question, I hope I'm able to say I stood up for what was right. And I ask you to do what you can today to help that question never be asked. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Dawn. All right. After Dawn, I've got Ellen Koenig. I'm trying on that one. Probably got it close. Morning, Dawn.
Good morning.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. And state and spell your name, and then go ahead.
Okay, my name is Dawn, D-A-W-N, Udell, U-D-E-L-L. Regarding, first of all, thank you for having me. Regarding Proposal 1, it would end our election transparency. It would enable ballot harvesting, and please don't allow them to take our vote away. We have veterans that have fought for freedom. Our whole Constitution is based on Christianity, and I'm seeing it deteriorate. On Proposal 2, if a person takes the life of a pregnant woman, they're charged as taking 2 lives, yet abortions are legal. Organizations are profiting over abortions, which is wrong. And personally, I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, and I want my children, my grandchildren to have the kind of life that I did, the freedom, and our freedoms are being eroded. Please, don't let them be eroded, okay? We would like to see freedom. Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn. Ellen, come on up. After Ellen, I've got Mark, looks like Hornbeck. Ellen,
Hi.
good morning.
Good
Do you swear
morning.
to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, state and spell your name.
Ellen, E-L-L-E-N, Koenig, K-O-E-N-I-G. I'm here to say to you today, I've read through the wording on these petition proposals to alter our state constitution. This is a big deal. And I hope you've read through these 100 pages because they're not well written. There are run-on sentences. There are big sentences that have all caps and don't have correct punctuation. And if we're going to put something on the ballot, it has to be something everyone can read and understand using the common languages that how we interpret English under our Constitution. So I'm just saying, first thing first, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. I believe both of these have to be written properly, especially if they're going to try to change our Constitution. Because a lawyer or anyone trying to adhere to these ballot proposals, if they got into law, it would be a mess. So let's not put this embarrassing thing on our ballot. And that's what I'm asking of you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen. Gonna assume you're Mark.
That's me. Mark Hornbeck, M-A-R-K, Hornbeck, H-O-R-N-B-E-C-K.
Mr. Hornbeck, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, take it away, sir.
I'm here as a volunteer for Voters Not Politicians. I was a petition circulator. We worked hard to get the 664,000 signatures to put this critical issue on the ballot. And I was among the thousands of volunteers who mobilized to collect signatures for this important issue. I urge the board to certify Promote the Vote 2022 to the November ballot. Throughout this year, especially during petition circulation, we highlighted that Promote the Vote 2022 will ensure everyone eligible to vote in Michigan enjoys the fundamental right to vote without intimidation or harassment. Omitting this crucial aspect of this proposal, which is also the very first element of the proposal's language in the summary, does a disservice to voters who deserve clarity and transparency as to what they're voting for. Additionally, Promote the Vote 2022 requires that military and overseas ballots be counted if postmarked by Election Day and received within 6 days, yet this important element is omitted in the caption. I respectfully urge you to address that so our veterans, our military men and women serving overseas, and those who support them understand that they'll have time to vote. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, sir. I believe I forgot to mention the on deck. That was Melissa Ward. So Melissa, if you're in here or if you want to make your way, and then behind Melissa we have Craig, looks like Cumber maybe. So we'll give Melissa a moment. The good news is I think the stack of what we've been through is starting to catch up with what's left. So strap in. Melissa? Good morning.
Good morning.
Melissa, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
So help me God.
All right, and please state and spell your name. And then
Melissa
take it away.
Ward, M-E-L-I-S-S-A, Ward, W-A-R-D.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, two of the major things is number 4 and number 7. Number 4 is promoting the vote. I actually was out there getting signatures for something else for decertified in Michigan at one time, and I saw a lot of people doing the petitions to promote the vote, and it was a bunch of lies. So it needs to be rejected, period. Number 7 is about reproductive freedom for all. That's also a bunch of lies. Abortion is, the meaning of abortion means abort, means to get rid of, murder, kill. Okay, look the word up. The word choice is not a noun. It means that you have to make a choice between life or death. Okay? Abortion is the murder houses that actually were point out Planned Parenthood started the abortion clinics by a white woman that wanted to get rid of all the blacks, and she used the word and the N-word, which I'm not allowed to say, right? But that was where the abortion clinics went. All set up in the cities, in the towns that were full of the black people to kill the black people. That's what their goal was. Constitution, it is not a constitutional right to promote death. It says in the Constitution to promote life. So what part of this don't you guys get? Okay. Also, the lies to cover up allowing the murder is huge. Very, very huge. The life of a mother, I am a mother. I did have an abortion when I was 17 years old because of something that I was lied to and lied to. It was traumatic. It left an impression on my life the whole time. God does forgive, which the churches have allowed us to believe a lie that was the unforgiven sin. It is not. God still forgives, and he can forgive all of you for voting wrong, okay? We need to protect the babies. There is no exceptions for murder, okay? With the life of a mother, they say, well, the life of a mother, that should have an abortion. No, first of all, she would not go to an abortion clinic to get an abortion. It would not be called an abortion. It would be to save the life of the mother. And there has been no survey that has been done about saving the life of a woman.
And
The other
Melissa,
thing is adoption. Adoption is an option.
Your time is up. I've given you a little bit of time to wrap up, so 5 seconds.
Okay, adoption is an option, not murder. Okay, so abortion is murder, period. And if you guys allow something that is all, the wording and everything according to this proposal is like ridiculous.
You're beyond 5
so
seconds
it needs
now.
to be rejected.
Thank you,
very
Melissa.
much.
All right, Craig. After Craig, I've got Dan Bonamy II. Craig, I apologize, I can't read the last part of your name. Was I close? Cumbo?
Close enough.
Okay.
It's been butchered a lot.
Craig, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help
Yes.
you God?
Yes, I do.
All right. And to correct that issue, could you state and spell your name?
Sure, I sure can. Craig, C-R-A-I-G, last name is Cumbo, C-U-M-B-O-W. And I failed handwriting, so yeah. I am here to urge the Board of Canvassers to accept the recommendation of the Bureau of Elections and place promote the vote on the November ballot. I was also, like Mark, I was one of the signature gatherers. I circulated, and I was one of the thousands that really helped circulate, and we got 200,000 more signatures than we needed. So this basically says the people of Michigan want this, and we're here to decide whether it should goes on the ballot. And obviously the people of Michigan think it should. So I won't go through all of the bullets in here, but I can tell you as an ex-process manager, that was my last job in my career. These are all process improvements. These make things easier, more convenient, but at the same time, they keep the integrity and the security and put those into the Constitution. So as somebody, voters, not politicians, I recommend that this goes on the ballot.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. Dan, come on up, sir. Good morning. Dan, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, sir. Thank you.
All right. Please state and spell your name.
Dan Bonamy, D-A-N-B-O-N-A-M-I-E, II.
Okay. Go ahead.
Thank you for my time today. I'd like to address the board not on an issue basis, but on the, as far as each individual basis. But I feel that any constitutional amendment must be clearly stated. When they're out collecting signatures, we need to know exactly what we're signing. And if a petition's unclear in any way, shape, or form that's changing our laws, it needs to be thrown out. It also does not clearly explain what it's removing from the law, especially in the election integrity. If we don't know what laws it's removing from our Constitution and what changes it's making, it should not be put on the ballot until those are clearly stated. And I would ask this board to deny both proposals under those circumstances. And if these things come forward, no matter what the position is on them, in a clearly stated manner, and have the correct signatures, then they should move forward. But without that, we should deny this.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your time.
Up next, I have City of Warren District 5 Councilman Eddie Kubasinski. And I think Eddie might be in overflow, so we'll give him a minute. The other folks would be Gary Smith, Frederick Nienstead, and then Robert Avers. So we'll give them a moment to make their way, and then we'll move to the next stack. do want to thank on my behalf and others. So far, folks been following the rules pretty nicely and keeping things succinct. We ask that you continue doing that, and we'll get you out of here by dinner time. Hopefully today.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I just want to say that, I've been on this board since 2013. And so, it's weird to be on this side of this room, so I'll just say that. But I've been on this board since 2013, and I am encouraged by the number of people who are starting to attend these meetings. I say that, I do mean that, because we do make very important decisions on this board. And some of the comments that were made today are the same comments that I know I've made about legality of petitions and reading petitions before you sign them and understanding what you were doing. But I just wanted to acknowledge and say thank you to everyone who is either here in person or, now that we are streaming, I believe we are streaming, to actually understand what this process is and what we do on this board. So thank you, Mr. Chair, for allowing me a comment.
Absolutely. All right, Eddie, you look a little worse for wear than the last time I saw you, sir. I hope everything's okay.
Yes, sir. Sorry, you gotta give us cripples a little time to get over here from the overflow room.
So, Eddie, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes,
all right.
sir, I
And please state and spell your name, and then I'll give you 60 seconds.
My name is Eddie Kabasinski. I'm a Warren City Councilman representing District 5, South Central Warren N. I'm the only constitutional conservative on the Warren City Council. Yes, so referring to that, we had the meeting that was on the 19th at the Delta Township offices. And if you guys can see this shirt here, this is what happens to you when you're a conservative Republican and you go to speak out on these issues having to do with the voter ID situation and allowing illegal migrants to vote in our election, and also about the Kill Baby bill. That's what it should be called, because that's exactly what it is. My campaign manager and I, Fred Nastad, and I have been very vocal about these ballot proposal items in Warren, Macomb, and throughout the state of Michigan when given a chance to speak on them. And this is what happens. You get targeted, attacked in a rollover accident or traffic crash. You get targeted. And many Republicans have been targeted in this state and adjoining states because they've been very outspoken about similar bills that have to do with the Kill Babies and also about so-called voter integrity. So I just want to make everybody aware that this kind of violence is unacceptable, and this is what happens when you're outspoken and you're a Republican in this state. Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie. Give you a moment to get out of there, and then I believe I said Mr. Smith, Gary Smith would be next. And I'm been trying to keep things on the elections issue, then take the reproductive freedom abortion issue. Gary, you just wrote one, so I'm not sure which exact issue you're looking to address, but you're here, so I'll let you go on either one. So, Gary, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do,
All right.
as always.
State and spell your name, and then go ahead.
Gary F. Smith, G-A-R-Y-F-S-M-I-T-H. I'm glad that you're swearing people in. I think that means that you are in relentless pursuit of the truth. And so that's what I wanted to talk about, not the merits of any of these initiatives here, but about the truth. I don't believe that the truth was presented to the folks who were asked to support these constitutional amendments. I don't believe that the truth is represented in the text. I don't believe that the truth will be represented in the 100-word summary. So I petitioned the canvassers to insist on the truth and to not advance these petitions until that's all satisfied. Thank you.
Sir? Frederick Nienstedt, And then after that will be Mr. Robert Avers. Good morning, Frederick.
Good morning, Chair.
Do you
and
swear to
Board.
tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, please state and spell your name and take it away.
Frederick, F-R-E-D-E-R-I-C-K, Nienstedt, N-I-E-N-S-T-E-D-T. Chair, may I address Director Brader directly?
Sure. You may address any of us, but please, again, please keep it respectful.
MCL 168.32, right? That's for the nominating petitions, or the original language for proposals. Is that correct? And MCL 168.485 is the direct yes and no form of the question. 463A, is that also included in your description? That's been repealed, sir. I would like to know, what is the MCL that allows you to rewrite the ballot language?
I can just confirm for the board that the election law was followed in the drafting both of the petition summary, which was drafted by me and approved by the board, as well as the proposed ballot language, which was drafted by me and which the board is meeting to consider today for both petitions.
But you cannot quote an MCL.
Mr. Nienstedt, we're here to take comment, and I know,
Okay.
I
All
obviously
right.
have disagreements
Then
with
I would
interpretations of
make the
things,
comment
but
that the only reason that we're following election law is because the Attorney General issued an opinion. One person in this state issued an opinion that will affect generations from now. I would like that to be stated clearly so that everybody understands that one person with a partisan nature has made this choice to change the 100-word ballot summary. So we need to make it truth, right? We have to have an exact description, but how can you do it in 100 words? Please, thank you. I appreciate it.
thank you, sir. Mr. Avers. Mr. Avers, I will admit, is a friend of mine, so I know he's an attorney, but he wishes to speak during public comment. I guess he's going to give his clients a discount. As an attorney,
just keep going.
Licensed to practice law, I do not need to swear you in, but do please state and spell your name, and then we'll give you a minute to state your case.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, I am Robert Avers, R-O-B-E-R-T-A-V-E-R-S. I am an attorney, and I'm here this morning on behalf of the Ballot Question Committee, Secure My Vote. Speaking on agenda item number 4, the sufficiency of the Promote the Vote petition. That petition may not be certified by this board today. Article 2, Section 4, as amended by the Promote the Vote petition, would abrogate Article 2, Section 2 of the Constitution because it would render the legislature's authority to exclude individuals, such as incarcerated felons, from voting. It would render that authority wholly inoperable. Now, Promote the Vote could have listed that provision in its petition as being abrogated. In fact, it's required to do so by law. It did not do that. That's a legal requirement. They failed to check that box. This board does not have the authority today to certify that petition. Now, in written submissions that Promote the Vote submitted to this board, they did attempt to gloss over their omission by characterizing that fatal defect as those requirements under Article 2, Section 2 as qualifications. That position, I'll wrap up. That petition is in direct conflict with Michigan law, and I'll just give you 2 citations. MCL 168.492 expressly defines qualifications to register to vote, and the things in Article 2, Section 2 are not there. The second would be MCL 168.492A, and that is a statute that was enacted by the legislature under their authority of Article 2, Section 2, which precludes convicted incarcerated felons from voting. Thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you, sir. That would appear to conclude the request to speak on the elections issue. I'm sure there's some scattered in here. Does anybody wish or need to take a quick break? Okay, we will recess until 10:10. Do I slam this thing when I recess?
Interesting.
The beautiful, chaotic world of American democracy.
Yeah, you have to kind of call it the same.
All right, folks. Call this meeting back to order at 10:15. I gave you 5 extra minutes. All right. We'll now be moving on to public comment related to the reproductive freedom abortion issue. And again, same rules in terms of time, respectfulness, stating and spelling your name. First, we have Renee Jasinski, and after that, I've got Nicole Kaufman. I'll try to give on deck as I move through these so you can be prepared. Good morning. Looks like the microphone is on. Renee, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, state and spell your name, and then go ahead.
My name is Renee Jasinski, Jasinski.
And if I may, if you can just make sure you're speaking into the mic. When you turn away, it does kind of,
Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you all very much for hearing me speak today. Really appreciate it. I have concerns about the proposal regarding the reproductive freedom for all. There are many errors that are alarming to me. This may put the voter at a disadvantage for clearly understanding what they are voting for. A change to our Constitution should not be taken lightly. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Nicole Kaufman. And after that, we have Grace Kaufman.
Good morning.
Good morning. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, please state and spell your name.
Nicole, Nicole, Kaufman, Kauffman.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Board. It came to my attention that this constitutional amendment for reproductive freedom is up for you to decide today if it should be placed on the ballot for November. I pulled up the amendment to educate myself on its contents and found it very hard to read due to very large paragraphs without spacing between words. This was confusing, and my concern is that this amendment were to pass and become law, it would be very difficult to interpret its meaning due to the errors. The wording is insufficient in this initiative to be entered into the law. As a concerned citizen of Michigan, I'm asking that you do not approve this amendment for inclusion on the November ballot. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. Grace, come on up. And then I have Peter Dresser after that.
Okay.
Grace, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so
I
help
sure
you God?
do.
All right.
And my name is Grace, Grace, Kaufman, Kauffman. So first of all, I'd like to thank you for your willingness to serve us. Thanks. Today, you have the serious responsibility to decide if the Reproduction Freedom for All Amendment should be placed on the ballot for November the 8th. There are errors on the back of this amendment. They're illegible and they can't be read. According to the criteria set, these errors would invalidate this amendment from being placed on the ballot or from even being entered into Michigan law. Your integrity matters today, and I'm asking you to disallow this amendment. Thank you.
Thank you, Grace. We have Peter Dresser, and after Peter, Corey Shankleton. Good morning, Peter.
Morning.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right.
Peter, Peter, Dresser, Dresser. I'm also concerned about the multiple errors of the Reproductive Freedom for All petition proposing an amendment to our state constitution. If you approve this petition to move forward, it will reinforce a governing culture that is sloppy, unprofessional, and negligent of important details. Clearly, many signed this petition, even our own governor and many legislators, without reading it. If you let it move forward, it reinforces negligence in the citizenry and our governing officials. a proposal that seeks to amend something as sacred as our state constitution that governs the lives of nearly 10 million Michiganders deserves the strictest of scrutiny. To glibly move this petition forward, forgiving human or technological error, would be derelict. Thank you for doing your job today to uphold the standard and honor of the petition process by not allowing our FFA amendment to move forward. Moreover, if you approve this amendment to move forward, it sets a dangerous precedent where future proposals could include nefarious wording. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Corey Shankleton. And after that, Lori Malakowski. Good morning, Corey.
Good morning.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
So help me God.
All right, go ahead, sir.
Corey, C-O-R-E-Y, Shankleton, S-H-A-N-K-L-E-T-O-N. I am addressing the board today in regards to my concerns about the Reproductive Freedom for All proposed amendment. While I could address this proposal on ethical, health, and social grounds, that's not my gravest concern today. Abortion, women's health, parental rights, and tax appropriation are all major issues and must be addressed in clear, concise ways. A law or an amendment that is not clear is simply not defensible. As this board has been made clear, the RFFA is riddled with errors to which Michigan law makes no allowance for their correction. Those supporting this amendment argue that no state law addressing spacing between words is in. Of course, this is not in Michigan code because it is an established practice. You do not write words without spacing. If these topics are to be addressed, we owe it to Michigan to do so in a clear, consistent manner. I ask the Board of Canvassers to vote no on the Reproductive Freedom for All amendment, reject it from the November 8th ballot, and I appreciate you giving this your attention today.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Lori Malakowski, and after Lori is Rick Wierzyłek. Probably butchered that one pretty badly, but Lori, go ahead. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right, please.
LORIMALACKOWSKI. Hello, I am here this morning to voice my concern over Proposal 3. The syntax errors in this amendment consist of large, incomprehensible run-on words and poor grammar, which will appear as gibberish on the November ballot and the Michigan Constitution. Not only are the syntax errors concerning, but the language of this amendment is confusing and misleading. A constitutional proposed amendment should be written precisely and without ambiguity so the citizen clearly understands the outcome of their yes or no vote. Therefore, I ask that you not allow this amendment to be put on the November ballot. Thank you.
Thank you. Rick, come on up, and then after that we have Christine Augustine. Rick, please, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
And then please say your name correctly for me.
Okay, my name is Rick, R-I-C-K, Wierzyłek, W-A-R-Z-Y-W-A-K.
All right, go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, on the reproductive freedom proposal, I believe the integrity of the canvassers are at stake because of the words, and it's kind of like if you go to a restaurant and it says, we serve fine food, but they're serving it out of a dumpster and back. Whoever wrote that proposal certainly was not educated well enough as something as important as this. So I'm speaking to the canvassers of your integrity here. If you okay this, you're going to open up a Pandora's box of the future proposals who are sloppily worded, and I'm sure you have rejected proposals in the past. And so again, you really have to look at this very carefully. Your integrity is on the line here. Forget the political biases. Let's follow the rule of law. Let's go back to the integrity of how the canvassers are supposed to act. That's my opinion. So I really ask you to reject this proposal because of the wording on the back. That's and all the other things. And I'll say one thing, a nation who kills its kids will do anything to its people.
Thank you, Rick. Christine. After Christine, we have Ari Kaufman. I was trying to see if there was another Kaufman in there to bring you up with the rest of the family, so I apologize for that. Christine, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. State and spell your name.
Christine Augustine, Christine Augustine.
Go ahead.
Good morning, Board. I do not envy you today. We all want what's best for our state. I just wanted to echo what some of the other people here are saying about the syntax errors, about the ambiguity of the language. I had a friend who is pro-choice who did sign this petition. I read her the language from the proposed amendment. She said, I didn't sign that. I did not sign that. That's not what I signed. I said, yes, you did. She said, well, that's not what I understood that it said. So I think that is something to be said, that people are not clearly understanding what they are signing with this petition. I'd like to read just one of these examples of gibberish. Or alleged pregnancy outcomes, including but not limited to miscarriage, stillborn, or abortion. That's all one word, no spaces. That is what we would be proposing to put into our Michigan Constitution, is gibberish. I know you take your job as canvassers for our state very seriously, and I call upon the gravity and implore you to disallow this document on our November ballot. It is not of a quality we would want permanently added to our state constitution. Anything added to the Constitution needs to live up to the quality and the permanency of that document, as others have stated, for future, for setting precedents, for legal lawsuits that will come as a result of this. They need to be able to defend it, and they need to be able to clearly understand what it says. For all of these reasons, I ask you to please halt this proposal's advancement to our ballot in November. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. Ari, come on up. After Ms. Kaufman, we have Tricia Fessler. And do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. And now, are you a high school student, or are you a college student, or?
I'm going into high school.
Okay. Well, good for you for taking time to come here and participate in the process. It's good to see young folks involved. I think all of us will agree with that. So go ahead, state and spell your name, and then let us know why you're here.
Ari Kaufman, Arikaufman. Hello, Board of State Canvassers. When our country's Constitution was written, our founding fathers wrote it to ensure that every American had their God-given rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It was written with care, read and reread, edited and re-edited to make sure that it was a strong, liberty-preserving standard. It is a Constitution to be proud of. Michigan's Constitution should be the same. So why is the Reproductive Freedom for All Amendment coming in with whole sentences written with no spaces? A constitution is the standard of state on which all other laws are based, a law that preserves our rights and freedoms. Our Constitution should not be taken lightly. If an amendment is being proposed, it should be written with care, clear, understandable, and thorough. Our FFA clearly lacks these qualities. Can we let an amendment written so carelessly go on the ballot? Think of what that would look like on our Constitution. Our Constitution defines how our state works, so think how that would label our state. Michigan would be seen as careless and sloppy, a state that didn't bother to pay attention to the guidelines. No, I do not want that for state. You should not want that for our state. That is your job. You should make sure that this amendment does not go on the Constitution, to keep our Constitution a Constitution to be proud of. Thank you.
Thank you. I will say that you are far better spoken and intellectually consistent than a good number of the people who are in this room, not today, but most of the time. I won't name any names. Thank you very much for coming. Tricia Fessler, and then after Tricia, we have Herman Barbie. Tricia, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. State and spell your name and take it away.
Tricia, Trisha, Fessler, Fessler. And of course, I have to go after her. So thank you, Board, for having us here today. I am speaking to you in regards to the Reproductive Freedom for All proposed amendment. Not only is it the most extreme proposal content that I've ever seen, The pure sloppiness of the text should not be approved. There are over 40-plus instances of a gibberish that could bring much confusion to our Michigan Constitution if allowed. So I'm asking you to reject the Reproductive Freedom for All proposed amendment so that it will not be on the Michigan's November 2022 ballot for the reasons I discussed above. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Herman? After Herman, we have Victoria Zilch. Herman, good morning. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Amen.
All right, go ahead, sir.
My name is Herman, legal spelling German, last name Barbe, Barbe. Thank you for having me, having brought all of us. And I'm here today as a concerned citizen of the state of Michigan, a fan of the English language, and a father who likes and appreciates our Constitution and wants to pass that along to my 7-year-old son, who's now learning to read English. The Reproductive Freedom for All Amendment is a proposed constitutional amendment to the state of Michigan. Recently, multiple errors were found in the text of the Reproductive Freedom for All proposed amendment. 43 errors to be exact. Because of these many errors, this amendment should be invalidated from appearing on the November ballot. These errors consist of multiple, large, incomprehensible run-on words. In specific portions of the amendment, spaces were removed between words, which created these large run-on words. These errors cannot be corrected. If the amendment's text were to be changed now, the Reproductive Freedom for All Coalition would need to recirculate petitions all over again. They would be back at square one, and their only hope is for these errors to be overlooked by you, the Board of Canvassers. If the Board of Canvassers were to approve this amendment with the errors and all, and if the amendment succeeded in November, the Constitution of the state of Michigan would look like gibberish. So I leave you with 3 sentences in English. Abort the amendment, abort the amendment, abort the amendment. Thank you.
Thank you. Victoria? After Victoria, we have Dr. Heather Aldred.
Hello. My name is Victoria Zilch, spelt Victoriazilch.
And Victoria, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, take it away.
Good morning, Board. My name is Victoria, and I am a resident of Southfield, Michigan. I am here today to address you regarding the Reproductive Freedom for All Amendment. As I'm sure you are aware at this point, there have been many spacing errors found within this amendment. Although those who authored this amendment argue that people can understand what is written even with these errors, this is not the case. The lack of spaces in multiple sections of the amendment caused the amendment to be unclear and hard to be understood. Our constitutional amendments must be clear. Our Constitution is sacred, so this must be taken seriously. To allow a proposed constitutional amendment that has this many errors to be on the ballot in Michigan is to set the bar very low for all future amendments that may be proposed. Michigan election law is meticulous and incredibly exact when it comes to the formatting of petitions, of proposed amendments, and more. To abandon these meticulous standards because there's no specific provision that addresses spacing issues is foolish. It is clear that any piece of legislation that is to be considered should be of the highest quality and should be accurate and in alignment with the standards outlined by law. This proposed amendment does not meet those standards. All of this fails to include that our state would look incompetent at best if this were to become our next constitutional amendment. I am asking that you do not allow this sloppy, low-quality piece of legislation, this proposal, to be on our ballot in November. Thank you.
Thank you, Victoria. Dr. Heather Aldred. And after that, it looks like Lindy Dornsick. I might be butchering that. Perhaps your handwriting was a little sloppy. I don't know, but you're next. Go, Dr. Heather Aldred. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you know the drill.
My name is Heather Aldred, HeatherAldred. Good morning, Board of Canvassers. I am asking the board this morning to vote no to include the Reproductive Freedom for All Constitution Amendment on the November ballot. The staff report on the petition wording says that the law is silent on the amount of space between letters and words in a petition. The law being silent on a topic does not mean that it is unimportant. It can also be so obvious that it does not need to be stated. Spaces in a written language are as important as the letters themselves. Consider this example set of words. Together, experts exchange, therapist issuing authorities. Or, with different spaces, to get her expert sex change, the rapist is suing authorities. Let's read that again. Together, experts exchange, therapist issuing authorities. Or is it, to get her expert sex change, the rapist is suing authorities? Same letters, different spaces, very different meanings. Yet, with all the missing spaces, the wording would need to be added to the Constitution without being amended, according to Michigan law. The readability of the petition is undoubtedly fundamentally flawed. Signers of the petition were unable to easily read what they were agreeing to. I am asking this morning that you reject this ballot proposal because the readability of the petition is fundamentally flawed and the resulting amendment would be nonsense. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. If there's a sergeant or somebody that would maybe go out there and instruct those people to please stop knocking on the window and distracting, that would be much appreciated. Lindy, or Lindsay, I apologize if I'm just struggling to read that correctly. You are up. After you would be Jan Seeger.
I apologize. It was horrible writing. My name is Sydney. I have hand issues, but maybe I also wrote this ballot. I don't know.
Okay, that was a good one. Sydney. Sydney, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, and please state and spell your name.
Sydney, Cydney, Domsic, Domsic.
Go ahead.
All right, thank you for letting me speak today. I'm here to speak against the proposal 22-3, reproductive freedom for all. The proposal has vague, unclear, and misleading language, and it leads to confusion as to what this amendment would actually allow. As a personal experience, when talking to a petitioner that I had seen in the park and asked them to explain what this petition said, they could not. They had kind of a party line. When I asked for further clarification, they couldn't give me any. So if they can't clarify it, then how can we expect the voters to? Due to the lack of clarity, it should not be allowed on the ballot, since people will be unsure as to what their vote will actually be allowing. I ask that you do not approve this proposal and do not allow it on the ballot. Thank you.
Thank you, Sydney. Jan Seeger. After Jan, we have Regina Schock. Good morning, Jan.
Good morning.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, same as the rest. State and spell your name.
My first name is Jan, Jan. The last name is Seeger, Seeger.
Go ahead, Jan.
Thank you for letting me speak before the board this morning. I want to express my opposition to the reproductive health freedom proposal that would be added to our state constitution. Number one, it does not follow correct format that petitioners signed, and the board did not sign off on it. Number two, it's sloppy. No one wants a sloppy amendment to our Constitution. Constitutional amendments are not easily tweaked, corrected, etc., so don't go there. Number 3, there are over 40 errors in the petition. My understanding is that a petition cannot be changed once presented to the public for signature. Number 4, they're attempting to break our laws that are in place for this very reason of preventing a bait and switch. Number 5, there will be another election cycle, so tell the authors to get it right. And lastly, in God's word it says, "Thou shalt not murder." When you make this vote today, folks, you will be accountable not only to the people in the state of Michigan, but you will be accountable to our God. Thank you. God bless you. God bless America. God bless Michigan. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. Regina. Okay, after Regina, we have Jessica Frost. We are making progress. I just counted. There's 25 after Regina, so should be done just after 11. Now we get to hear from the attorneys. How joyful. Regina, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you for letting me.
State and spell your name.
Oh, Regina, R-E-G-E-N-A. Last name is Schuck, S-C-H-U-C-K.
All right, go ahead.
I do have some concerns about the reproductive freedom that you're considering passing. I looked at this proposal, and when I was looking through it, I was confused about some of the things that I had seen, the verbiage and the way it was written and things that way. I'm looking at it, and I'm like, wait a minute, what is this and what is that? I'm not typically one to go out and speak in public, but I do have some concerns about this because it is such a serious nature. I think that as we sign petitions and as we put proposals forward, everybody needs to understand what it is that they're signing and what it is that they're agreeing to. And I think that all Michiganders have that right. They need to know what it is. There's different kinds of misleading things going on in our world right now. And I think when it comes to the seriousness of this proposal, we need to really take a look at that and maybe just turn that down. Okay?
Thank you, Regina.
Thank you.
Jessica Frost. After Jessica, we have Leah Riley.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Good morning.
I want to apologize in advance that I was initially informed of a 3-minute, so I've done my very best to concise and we'll move efficiently through this.
And if you just lean a little closer to the mic so we can hear a little better. I'll give you a little bit of leeway. Obviously, thank you for doing your best. Jessica, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, and state and spell, and then go ahead.
Dr. Jessica Frost, Jessica Frost. Good morning, all. I'm a physician specializing in obstetrics and gynecology, serving the Lansing community. I entered this field to dedicate my life to the care of women and their reproductive health care needs. The U.S. Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade has made that a lot more difficult. To serve my patients and offer all treatment options available to them, we must restore the reproductive protections lost when Roe was overturned. We can't go back to the 1931 law that bans abortion. Physicians must be able to offer patients comprehensive care they require. Being forced to adhere to an antiquated law that bans pregnancy-related treatments, including abortions, needlessly puts women's lives at risk. It puts doctors at risk of losing our jobs, of prosecution, or even jail time. I trust my patients to make their own decisions. Women have had the right under Roe since before I was born, for almost 50 years. It is my role to provide education, support, and proper treatment, not to judge or coerce. In my practice, I have offered comfort to a woman who wept over the decision to terminate her pregnancy due to abnormalities incompatible with life. I have seen a woman shock after learning her contraception failed her. I have had to tell a 13-year-old child she was carrying a child. Every pregnancy is different and requires me to be able to treat each one accordingly, without government interference, without fear of repercussions to patients or doctors. That's why I fully support the Reproductive Freedom for All ballot initiative, and I urge this board to certify the petition signatures so that Michiganders can decide this issue for themselves. Everyone should have the right to reproductive freedoms. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I don't know why you were worried about the time. You did a great job there. Leah Riley, and then after Leah, Cassie Jones McBride.
Hello.
Hello, Leah. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right.
And my name is Leah, Leah, last name Riley, Riley.
Go ahead.
All right, I am here today to express my concerns about the many errors that are present on the Reproductive Freedom for All Amendment petition. This petition addresses one of the most serious issues in the history of our nation and will impact every individual and family in Michigan, and as such needs to be held to the highest standards for text, formatting, and integrity that this board is designed to uphold. The language of this petition is dangerously vague, and the text formatting errors only add confusion and make large sections of the petition illegible. Simply put, the Reproductive Freedom for All Amendment proposal does not meet the rigorous standards that this board has upheld in the past and should not be allowed on the ballot in November. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Cassie. Come on up, Cassie. After that, we have Billy Putman. Good morning.
Good morning.
Cassie, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. Spell your name, then take it away.
Right, is Cassie Jones McBride, C-A-S-S-Y, McBride, M-C-B-R-Y-D-E. Jones McBride. I'm nervous. So my name is
Nothing to be
Cassie.
nervous about, just take your time.
My name is Cassie, daughter of Mary, a beautiful black woman who is now my ancestor, but her spirit ushered me into this space today. I have been committed for years to trying to achieve sexual and reproductive justice for me and my community. Women who look like me have been fighting for agency over our bodies ever since my ancestors were brought to this soil. You cannot say that you are pro-life when there's a direct disregard of protecting the lives that are here, the life in front of you. We need reproductive justice to ensure we are able to raise our families in thriving environments. The passing of the RFFA is essential. Through this initiative, you can defend the freedom of all Michigan residents to make their own reproductive health care decisions, including abortion, keeping their choices private between their families and their doctors. The people of this state have spoken, as evident by the hundreds of thousands of signatures before you. Affirm our voices and stand up for our freedom and protect our lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Cassie. Billy Putman. Come on up, sir. I'm assuming you spelled that right, so.
Yes, I did. It is P-U-T-M-A-N.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't getting something wrong. Billy, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Amen.
All right, and go ahead.
I am Billy Putman, B-I-L-L-Y, P-U-T-M-A-N. Good morning, board. I am Billy Putman from Carroll, Michigan. I want to let you know about my bias. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior, and I take a knee to no man. There's a verse in the Bible in Esther 4:14 that says, "Perhaps this is the moment for which you have been created." State canvassers, I want you to be carefully evaluate yourself today and ask yourself if today is the moment for you in your life. I can't imagine a more important decision that you have to ever make in your life, because I know that you and I will kneel before Christ someday and answer for the decision you make today. And if I were you, I know which side of the vote I would like to answer to Christ with. Jeremiah 1:5, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." As I assume you know, if you pass this onto the ballot and it passes the proposal onto the general election, then you will have to put the most grammatically incorrect law into Constitution than has ever been. There is approximately 43 errors in this proposal. I would assume that you wouldn't want Michigan to be mocked for their lack of education and lack of due diligence for such an important issue to so many. I'm almost done. It would never uphold in the court in the way it is written. If you approve this, you're putting politics over punctuation. All the time, we force our kids to put into knowing how to write properly and teach them how important this is. But are we hypocrites when it comes to politics? As usual. However, do I believe this is a coincidence? Absolutely not. I just love how God works sometimes and love when my eyes are open to miracles such as these. But I also believe God is giving you, state canvassers, a way out. If you are embarrassed and don't want to vote this proposal down because you don't want to stand for Christ, then I believe God has given you a way to vote this proposal down because it is awfully written. So I leave you with this. Be careful with your decision today. God will allow us to be tempted in life, but he will always give us a way out of temptation. Take God's open door for you to walk through today and start fresh and anew. Remember, perhaps today is the very moment in which you were created for. God bless.
Thank you. I do want to gently remind folks of the 1 minute, and when you do hear the bell, wrap it up as quickly as you can. I forgot to do the on deck. That would be Mandy Sullivan is up next. And so if you want a little prep time, slowly walk up here. After Mandy is Lisa Capatina. I don't see anybody moving for Mandy, so why don't... Oh. It's like, how did she get behind me?
Mr. Chair, don't joke about that because we did have a meeting that they did remove the board behind us. And that was when we put voters, not politicians, on the ballot.
Oh. I remember those days.